Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show. We are on WRMN 1410. Super excited to be here this morning with my guest. But before I bring her on and have her introduce herself, who am I? I'm Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Wise Alliance Network, as well as the new author of the book, Wise Women Empower Women. So super excited about that. I'm also a real estate investor, so if anyone's looking to sell their property 30 days or less, let me know. And a mom of 3 beautiful girls. So that is who I am, and super excited to be here this morning with my guest. I will let her introduce herself, but she kind of doesn't need introduction, but go for it.
So my real name is Yesenia, but I do go by Lady Curls. And I am a barber. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful boys. One is about to graduate kindergarten in a couple of weeks. This is crazy. So it's just insane how time just flies by. And yeah, I'm a barber. I've been cutting hair for over 8 years, so almost 9 now. And it's insane. I never knew I was gonna become, one of the
Yes.
one of the top barbers
Stop being
out there.
humble. Stop being humble.
But I guess everybody likes to remind me, like, you are one of the people that did start that trend of women barbers, and
Trailblazer.
I was like, I didn't know. I was going live on TikTok, just having fun with my clients all the time. And I didn't know it was going to be such a big deal. I didn't think it was going to be such a big thing. But a lot of women did reach out to me and told me, like, you're the reason why I wanted to become a barber. And I was like, what?
That's amazing, though. Can you imagine? Like, you're just inspiring people just by doing you. That's it. Like, right?
Just having fun and just enjoying your time. And then I didn't know I was going to get paid from it, So I was just being myself. And then it just happened to escalate like that.
I met you. When did I meet you? Like, was it last summer at that girls' conference,
It
right?
was a girl conference.
In Aurora with Simply Destiny.
Yes.
You're just super chill. You're so like fun, pleasant, laid back. Just have a very fun personality. And then, I brought you here on the campus to speak to the students, and the whole time your vibe is like, I'm just having fun. I'm just enjoying myself. Yeah. And I think that's the vibe that you give off, which why people probably follow you, right? Like They just love it, and you get to inspire people at the same time.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't like I said, I didn't know that I was going to be an inspiration to people. I didn't know that was a thing. I grew up in a household where it was like I was very sheltered. Really? So seeing people coming up to me, it was like a shock to me.
Really?
I was like, wait, why are they, like, who is this? What is this? And everybody was just like, you don't see the type of light that you have within you that you just make people. Yeah, I just didn't understand. Like I said, I was so sheltered. I was so to myself. I was always in my own little world. I didn't know that I had that type of influence towards
energy, the energy, right? Just putting your vibe out there. Yeah, you do have like a light that attracts people, which you gotta be careful because that light could attract anything. Right?
Yes, I got my fair share of stories, that's for sure.
That because anybody will come to the light. But so I'm really excited because you're a barber. You've been doing this for 9 years. Obviously, a very male dominant industry.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
How have you been able, well, first, how did you even get into this?
It's insane. Okay, so my sister, Desiree, she is my younger sister. She actually started cutting hair before me, and she was in the barber school, and she had invited me one day, and she was like, hey, sis, do you want to come with me to the barber school? I just got to fill out some paperwork, this and that. And I was like, sure, why not? So the same day that she had invited me over was the same day that I applied for barber school, and I was just like in it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to cut hair, how to hold trimmers. I didn't know that the clippers were gonna be so heavy and vibrating in my hand. It was gonna just hurt my hand for a while. You just get used to that, I didn't know that it was gonna happen. It just happened.
It just happened
like that.
So you made a decision. You went there, and you were like, I want to be in barber school.
All in.
Was it something that like attracted you? Was something exciting about it? Like,
Honestly, I so at that time I had a partner and he was a barber.
Oh.
So we were planning on owning our own barbershop together, you know, and we just nearly had a son. He was not even a year old. Right now he's 10, you know,
wow.
so it's insane. It's just he's 10 years old. This has come together throughout all this time. When he was there, I was going to school. I was going, you know, being my first time mom, trying to figure everything out, school, work, and having a child for the first time. So that was originally the plan, you know, go to barber school, and then he's going to go to barber school, get his license, and then we both, you know,
start your business.
Yeah, because how are you going to open up a business without knowing anything of the industry? And I didn't know how big of a deal the barber industry was in the first place. I didn't know anything. I went in blind.
Really?
I went in so blind.
Okay. And so now you've been doing this for a while in the industry. I mean, and I told you offline, right? What I saw you on social media years ago, but didn't know you were Lady Curls. It was just like a skit you were in with one of my friends, right? Basam.
Basam, God bless him.
Which he's an investor with me in my investor community, and I was like, I know that's him. And then I saw your face, and then I was like, who's that? You know, but I didn't think anything of it. I just remember your hair,
yes,
and the red lipstick, right?
I love red lipstick. I love it.
So you were able to almost like niche yourself as Lady Curls because you have the beautiful curly hair, and then as a barber. So like, how did that even come about?
So it's crazy. So I was coming up around that time where Ish was the one that reached out to me and saying, hey, do you want to do a skit with us? And I was like, no way. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is a scam. His account got hacked. You know, he has millions of followers. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't think that, you know, how is somebody like him going to reach out to me? And let alone, I didn't even know that they lived in Chicago. So they reached out. I was like, yeah, let's go. You know, I'm so down. But I wanted to hear his voice on the phone first to make sure that it was really him. So I had told him, can you give me a phone call? Let me know all the details, this and that. I really, you know, I got to make sure, verify.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just so scared because I never met nobody from TikTok. This is the first time. And then after we did that skit, I started blowing off even more. Like popping off, yeah.
Because you have like 640,000 followers
Something
on TikTok,
like that, yeah.
right? Yeah, like she's a big deal. Look at their faces,
yeah.
right? And then you have, I know, like 80,000 on Instagram, 640 on TikTok, and what other ones? The YouTube.
Well, I do have YouTube right now. My YouTube is like a 3,500 subscribers. I'm trying to reach at least 10,000 this year, so.
You could do it.
We should see.
You could do it. You leverage TikTok, so I'm pretty sure you will be able to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. And what you're like, I'm just having fun. Like I was just doing social media.
Honestly,
like fun.
That is literally the secret of content creation. You have to have fun. You have to be yourself, and you just have to just enjoy what you're doing, honestly, because if you're just doing it like a job, it's gonna be tiring, and you're just gonna be like, this is boring. I'm not going to even try to do it. But no, you just have to just be yourself and just put your energy, your personality that God gave you to the world to see. Basically.
I love that. So you chose, when you started doing your social media content, was it all off the bat barber stuff?
No, it was honestly because I started TikTok in the first place because there's this speaker called Gary V. And he was like telling people, like, if you have a business and you don't have TikTok, basically you're kind of like, what are you doing? You know, insulting people that don't have TikTok if they have a business. So I took it as okay, fine, I'll do it. And then I used to always post random Snapchats, just funny random Snapchats of everything. It could be like a funny sticker that I saw, or me just being silly, or me just dancing, or me being with my kids, or me walking my dog. So it was always random. I never liked showing the same thing twice. So I started doing that on TikTok. and it was just like, you know, like a different episode. You just never know what Lady Curls is gonna do next. You gotta keep people guessing, you know. You just gotta like, oh, she's not putting a haircut today. What is she doing today? She's gonna be jumping off a plane. Oh, she's gonna be skydiving, or she, you know, things like that. So it's like you never know what Lady Curls is gonna do next.
I like that. So people were intrigued.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I want to see what she's doing today. And people are really like that, which is kind of weird. Like, you know, and I'm sure with your magnitude, right, and how you've built your following, I'm sure people notice when you're quiet, right?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I don't have nowhere near what you have. And it's like people are they're paying attention and be like, Jennifer, are you okay? I haven't seen you post today. It's like, why are you watching me like this?
No, there was a time, and it was around my spiritual journey, or I don't know what was going on. I was confused. I felt like I elevated so high on social media that I didn't know what to do with it. It scared me. The fame, it scared me. I didn't know where exactly to go next, or how to handle it, or how, you know, I had to be careful with who I hung out with, because I wasn't sure if they just were genuinely trying to be my friend, or they just wanted the clout. So like I was so scared of even stepping out of the house, and that's one thing I guess a lot of social media people don't really talk about, right? That aspect of like, I go out and I can't even, you know, sense who's looking at me or watching me, because there's a lot of random people on social media. So it's like, this is one aspect that you just got to be careful. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I don't go live as much as I used to. Because there's people that take tabs. Where are you going? Where are you at?
Where you been at? Where you checking in? Who you hanging out with? That makes a lot of sense.
So it's like, there has to be a balance between what you put out on social media and how much people know about you.
Yeah. That's true. And you know, interesting enough, once you start getting attention, now people are it's so easy to find someone.
Yes.
Online.
Definitely.
Like,
just by a phone number, you could find, you know, different things. And I'm just like, how is this even legal?
Yeah. No, it's true. So safety, definitely for a woman.
Yes, especially for a woman.
You know, I'm sure it's the same for men. Like, they're not being sexist or biased or whatever. Sorry, right? I get it. But there are things that women have to be a lot more mindful.
No, definitely.
Right.
Especially as a mother, too.
And as a mom, right? And then even like situational awareness, right? Like I'm the one, the so terrible at that. I've always gotten like, not yelled at, but like scolded by people like, Jennifer, pay attention to your surroundings, you know? And I was just like, why? Yeah, I'm with you. Like, why should I pay?
I'm hyper aware everywhere I go. And that's
especially now with the social media, I could imagine, right?
Hyper aware. It's just, you know, what is it? Peripheral vision. It's like my eyes go like there's like a lizard. Like everywhere I go.
Nice. No, but that's good. That's something that women need to practice, especially with what you're doing, right? So, how now I'm curious, right? As a female barber, right? I'm in a male dominant industry in media and in real estate, very male dominant, right?
Yeah.
Now you are in barber, right? Barber, what would that industry? How have you been able to manage this male dominant industry as a woman?
Well, in the beginning, it was not easy. I wanted to give up so many times because I just felt, I was like, oh, like, this isn't for me. Like, these guys don't even think that I could do this. Or sometimes over the years, you get so good that people that are working in the same location as you think that you're in competition with them. But it's like, I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm just trying to get better every single day for myself, for my clientele. So,
I gotta say something, but keep going.
Not only do you have to worry about, okay, like, dang, I'm not that good as him, but then you become better than somebody else, and then somebody else is looking at you with those eyes of, oh, she thinks she's all that, you know? And it's mostly, like, I feel like women want to see women grow. I've never had any issues with women barbers. Like, I don't think I have any enemies in the women barber industry. That's just the way that I feel. But when it comes down to the men in the industry, I feel like a whole lot of them look at me like, ugh,
I got so much to say about this
so
right now.
crazy to me. I'm like, bro, like you guys were the ones that helped me learn how to cut hair, learn how to fade, learn how to use this. Why is it so, hard for you to understand that maybe I just learned different, or I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's scary. And this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Please don't, anybody listening, don't get offended. But sometimes I feel like men operate a lot in feminine energy.
Yes.
And they don't even realize. When I notice that a man is competing with me, no offense, now I know you operate in feminine energy. Yeah. And now I know, like, oh, you competing with me, bro. Yes. Like, oh, is that what? So then it's not a me issue. Mm-hmm. It's a you issue. Yes. Right. Yes. And sometimes I think people just don't even realize, mm-hmm. like, I really, that masculine and feminine energy plays a big role. And I know when like I feel like a man is in their masculine energy because they're pouring into me.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've had good men that have poured into you, guided you, coached you, helped you. Yes. Like that's what masculine energy wants to do. Exactly. Whether you're a man or a woman, like let me just make this clear. Mm-hmm. Women can operate in masculine energy as well. It's an energy and you don't have to look like a man. Yeah,
especially if you're a very independent woman and an entrepreneur. Like if you are that, you have that masculine energy.
Correct. Mm-hmm. You get that. And I love that you get that.
I understand it completely. Because it boils down to relationships too.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, yeah.
we've made our mistakes in the past, and we've had our fair share of feminine energy, and then you have to become the masculine in that environment, and sometimes that's not what we want. We want to be a feminine in a relationship. We don't want to be the alpha. You're in charge.
You need to be the alpha. Yeah.
So I could come down to my femininity and be the girl, my flawless long dress wearing princess with a crown, girl. Like I want to be that. I don't want to be like, are you serious?
Yeah, like you don't want I think sometimes men don't realize that. Take notes. Like, take notes. I don't think sometimes men realize that women are looking to be led.
Yes.
Right? And when a woman is in an entrepreneur, she is constantly in masculine energy, which is not natural for her. Mm-hmm. She is meant to be feminine. Definitely. So when you're out there and what does masculine energy? I tell this all the time, and people always get their panties in a bunch when I start talking about this, right? It's like,
don't get your boxers in a bunch.
Don't get your boxers in a bunch, right? But
hold on.
I'm cracking up here. Hold on. But right, when people don't realize that, like, an entrepreneur is hunting. Mm-hmm. You are always out there looking for business. You are always out there looking for clients. That's a masculine energy because that's hunting. Yes. That's not a female, a feminine energy quality. Feminine, what do? They nurture, they care, right?
Female lions,
creative. Though. Yeah, yes, yeah. And that's true. Female lions do hunt, right? But like in the energy component, we're the nurturers, right? And caretakers. Definitely. And that's like, sometimes I'm like, and I've said this on social media, can I just bake cookies? Can I just stay home and bake cookies? Like, why do I gotta do all this? Mm-hmm. This is too much. So a masculine man coming in and kind of taking that off our plate. It's just like, oh, I don't got to think. I don't got to plan. I don't got, it's a lifesaver. Yes. It's so attractive. Yes, but when they're not leading, it's like, bro, we ain't got time for this.
Exactly.
So
I understand. I definitely understand.
So the fact that you are an entrepreneur, you're hustling, you're putting yourself out there, you're competing, unfortunately, with men in a male-dominant industry. Yeah. Yeah, right. And you've been able to manage it so well. So how have you been able now to deal with it now that you've been 9 years in?
Honestly, you just gotta separate the good from the bad, right? And think about it all, and everything's gonna be in your favor no matter what. In a positive aspect, it's like if people are dismissing you and being rude to you, they don't need to be in your life. So you get to see that in reality and be like, okay, then it's a lesson, but it's learned. Literally, that's all it is. I just go by and then take care of my clients, and that's what's more important. You shouldn't be focused on other barbers at all. honestly. Other barbers that want to teach you, they want to see you grow, they want to see you learn more, they're going to do that for you. And you're going to, you have to reach out in order to see what it is that you're trying to learn next. But there's also barbers that will try to put you down, but they're not going to teach you if they're trying to put you down. So you shouldn't be around that type of barber anyways. So
that's a good point. And going to your earlier point about being careful of who you surround yourself with, right? And are they genuine? Do they really want to help you and support you? There are men and women, but I've even seen it with men where they want to get close to you just to get close to your clout. Even me in real estate, I've had this situation where someone was trying to get close to me, and I'm thinking it's a genuine connection, but they just wanted to get connected to all my contacts in this industry, real estate industry. And I'm like, bro, that is such a conniving thing to do, that you want to be around. So that, to me, like when you said that, I can relate with that, because people really think like that. Like, oh, let me just get close to her because she knows people and she can open doors for me that I can't get to. That's sad.
Honestly, what I say about that is that I can't make you famous. If you're using me for clout, guess what? At the end of the day, God knows your intention. God knows your heart. God knows what it is in your mind.
I like that.
So you're using me for clout, but my people are going to follow me. If they want to follow you, they're going to follow you. I'm not going to be the one that makes you famous at all whatsoever. I'm not going to be the one that, if I share you a billion times on my Instagram,
that don't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean nothing, because at the end of the day, if people really wanted to be connected with you, they're going to follow you no matter who shares your profile, no matter who it is. Like, bread sells itself. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like barbers, they get their own clientele because of who they are and how their worth ethic is. I'm just like social media. You're going to get your followers based on who you are as an individual. You're your own different type of bread. If I share you on my account, it
doesn't make a difference.
It does not make a difference.
And that's solid advice.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I take it, honestly. So if you're using me, God knows.
Yeah, and they'll fall off.
Exactly.
They'll fall off eventually. So I love that you're sharing this. You're being truthful and transparent, and you've beat these guys in competitions, like, which is what I love. Because when I follow you and I saw a post and you were like voted what was it?
It was, I think it was a long time ago. I think it was Barber of the Year. Sorry, I can't even talk. Female Barber of the Year, one of those awards.
Yeah.
I did win a different competition for...
It was one recently, wasn't there?
It was in New York. That was like a couple years ago. I won third place.
That's awesome
yeah,
still.
It was a competition, and man, what was it? Make Your Story competition, and it was freestyle. So I had my son on my back, carrying him, and then he was sleeping on like one of those things, and then I was cutting up my other son as a competitor.
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
awesome. So I'm loving this conversation. So you guys, we're going to take a quick short break, but when we come right back, we're going to keep talking to Lady Curls, and we're going to talk about her journey as a barber, as an influencer. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Don't go away. And also, if you want to learn more about WRMN 1410, you could go to WRMN1410.com and learn more about their programming there, about all the shows that they have. So make sure you guys stay tuned. All right, so we are back. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410, as well as social media platforms. You can follow me at Wise Jennifer Sanchez, Wise Coffee Chat Show on YouTube, even on LinkedIn. And we have been talking to Lady Curls here about her journey as a barber, as an influencer, as a sweetheart. Like, I love her vibe from the moment I met you. Like, you have such a sweet vibe. And following you on social media has been very pleasant. You know, it's like, it's one of those things like, oh, look what she did today. Like, it is like, oh, look how cute she looks today, right? Or like, oh, you took pictures like recently, like with a white dress or something like that. I was like, look, it's just very like serene. I don't know what vibe you were giving, but it felt like peaceful, you know?
Honestly, that's all I wanted to capture in that moment. I wanted to capture God's creation, mostly like the sky, the clouds, the grass, and it was deer in the back. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I did not see no deer. Now I'm gonna go back and look.
Yeah, there was deer in the back.
But it's interesting how the world has revolved so much around social media.
Definitely.
Right. And I think you're a little younger than me, so maybe
I'm 31, about to be 32.
Yeah, you're younger than me. So like, I remember the time when there was no social media, right? It was like, what was it? Someone tell me, I would say Yahoo chat rooms or whatever, AOL chat rooms.
I remember AOL.
You remember those things? Or you remember like the start of MySpace or Latino Planet or Black Planet? Do you remember those?
No. I remember MySpace.
You remember
and AOL
MySpace, and then going into the Facebook, and now it's going into like the TikTok and the this and the that, and now it's like, gosh, it's like a full-time job to manage all these social media accounts, right? Which is why media is so important at this point. So, do you work with a lot of companies? Do you collab with companies? Because I hear all the time, especially with a lot of influencers, I know, I'm doing a collab. What is that?
Collaborations are whenever it could be a person, it could be a company, but I usually don't do company collaborations yet as of this moment. Is because I'm a mom, so for me, I have to balance if I could sign this contract and give my time to these people to get them what they need. And honestly, at the moment, I can't do that. But when it comes down to collaborations with different TikTokers or influencers in Chicago or even different states, like I went to Miami and I collabed with a different influencer from over there, Chas, and then I went to Texas and I collaborated with a couple influencers out there. So it was amazing. I think it was Milton and his client. So I was on their podcast, and it was just it's good. Individual collaborations for me is a little bit easier. When it comes down to company, like I said, it's a little bit more difficult,
especially because like you said, you're a mom.
Yes.
So I love the fact that you always have your kids in videos, right? I saw one where you had the frying pans with your boys.
Yes.
I love that. And then you're Puerto Rican descent, right?
Yes.
So you
Boricua,
right? So like you always including your culture, So it's all a pride for me as a Latina woman to watch another Latina woman do her thing, put herself out there. And the fact that your priority is your kids, you could show it. You show it, and like that's a big deal because that's how you're branding yourself. What you put on social media is part of your brand.
It really is, honestly. And before I used to post them a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but with all those files, those files that are coming out, it was scary for me to just have them out there like that all the time. So I did. I do have my private mom account, Mama Curls, and
that's cute. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's mostly women on that account, or like
Nice.
super best friends, or my man, or my brother, things like that, cousins.
It's a more intimate account.
It's just me and my kids.
Okay.
On that one, and I don't, that one is not a big deal for me to have a lot of followers because it's private. It's my private life. It's my private kids, time and moments with my children.
Nice.
And those are the pictures that I post for family members that are not always around,
And that makes
so like
sense.
abuela, tios, tias, my mom, she's in
Yeah.
Tennessee. So it's just like they need to see what's going on with my kids too, even
Yeah.
if they're not around here in Chicago. And then, my social media where everybody could see, where it's not private, I just post things about barber industry or funny things. I try to
Yeah.
make people laugh. My goal in social media platform is to literally just have people smile, have people laugh, have people not give up on themselves. I'm a very I don't really talk about it yet because I feel like there's a moment and a time for everything, but to me mental health awareness is so big. I went through my fair share of things in the past, and this is why I thank God for Bassam, because Bassam was one of the ones that helped me with the guide of Islam, with trying to learn about the religion and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, it did create a bigger connection with God. And I know it's different from Christianity, but I feel like Islam created a better Christian within me.
That's interesting. Tell me more.
Okay, so
Let's elaborate.
so in Islam there is Jesus is mentioned.
Oh, yes.
The Virgin Mary is mentioned. Abraham is mentioned. So all the prophets from the Abrahamic faiths are mentioned in the Quran, in the Bible, and in the, of course, the Bible, but in the Quran and in Islam. So it's like they follow these. I'm so sorry. I'm like backtracking a little bit, but they do follow these prophets from the past in the Bible, and it's so interconnected. And I just don't like the fact that everybody separates, everybody fights about what's real, what's not, when in reality, like I said, when I studied Islam, it just taught me how to fast. It taught me how to pray, on my knees. As a Christian, I really didn't know how to pray. And then reading the Quran, practicing Islam, being with people that, pray to God, even though it was in a different language, I didn't understand, but, that's how you have to practice and try to figure it out. But it just, I don't know, this one thing that I just couldn't admit, and it was Jesus. I couldn't believe that he didn't suffer, for our sins, or this. It's just so much more that we don't know. But I take both the religions and I have them in my heart.
And I can respect that, especially there's always a discipline that can come. And I think me as a Christian, non-denomination Christian, I like to learn different worldviews.
Definitely.
And I like to be open to learning from other faiths and religions. I will watch don't laugh at me, but the modern day Satanism, I've watched documentaries on them. Like, I want to understand other worldviews and viewpoints because it will give me awareness and armor and understand how to talk to people. Right.
And you have an open heart, your heart is open to learn.
Yes.
You're not judging people for what they believe. And I think the best part is that they're only going through this journey because they're trying to find God.
Something. Yes. They're trying to find something to anchor themselves to. And I love that. So my ex-husband's family, they practice. They're Muslims, right? So I'm very familiar with a lot of I'm very familiar with a lot of that. So even practices, watching the discipline, like you pick up a lot of things, right? It's like, and they pray 5 times a day. They pray towards the east, right? Like there's certain practices which it's a lot of discipline behind them, which there's nothing wrong with that. And I think also everyone wants to anchor themselves to, like, you're going to have a faith in something, whether people want to believe it or not. Everyone has a faith in something. Yeah. It could be Christianity, it could be Muslim, it could be gambling, it could be alcohol. I have faith in this, that it's going to solve my problems. So what are you anchoring yourself to? So if it made you a better Christian practicing that, then so be it.
Yeah,
honestly. If it brought you closer to God, so be it. But
Definitely.
like Jesus, I get it. The whole Jesus, you believe, I get that.
And that's the thing, like with whenever I met Bassam, he didn't know. None of this happened. It didn't happen because somebody forced it into me. It literally happened organically. I wanted to know because, in the Western culture, you learn that, Islam is full of, the T word. I don't like saying it because, the T word, the T word?
I'm like
terrorist.
I'm like, what's the T word?
No, because like the Western culture tries to make Islam look so bad. But when you step foot in it and you erase everything that you learned from what you've been taught all these years, you're just like, wait, hold on. You start questioning, why don't they drink alcohol? Well, maybe because it's bad for your blood, bad for your brain, bad for your cells, bad for everything. And it's not, there's no good deed in drinking alcohol for your body, And then why do they pray? Because they want to get closer to God. Why do they have to dress modestly? Because you don't want those eyes of lust looking at you in any way, form, shape, ever. Why would you want somebody to look at you in a lustful way? You wouldn't want somebody to look at you and tell you, wow, you look very beautiful, very modest, and know you for who you are as an intellectual human being instead of what you can offer inside of the bedroom. So it's like the Western culture has been deceived in so many ways. You can find out so many things that they've lied to us about here in the United States. And it's just crazy once you step foot into that lifestyle, because Islam is a lifestyle. It's a way of life, and see the truth for what it really is. You start to realize, like, wow, we've been lied to for so long. And honestly, I'm glad that God was able to show that to me, because I was one of those people that was raised to think certain ways of Muslims. I was like, oh, they're this way, they're that way. And until I stepped foot in it myself, and I was like, wait a minute, this is not true. What? I've been lied to. And that was like finding out that Santa Claus wasn't real. That's how I felt. I was like, wow, I've been lied to.
Santa Claus isn't real.
But when I found out, that hurt.
Yeah. But it's great to have those awarenesses when you have those spiritual awarenesses and you're like, oh, wow. And if it made you, like I said, a better human being, if it made you
saved my life.
If it saved your life, if it gave you some grounding, if it got you closer to God, more power to you, right? Yes. That's the important thing, that I love. And I love when people love to practice a faith.
Definitely.
Right? It's something like faith just makes you stronger. I mean, and I have my faith-based book that I launched that, it's stories of women who overcame trials and tribulations by their faith. Sometimes when things don't make sense, something needs to be out there that makes sense when things don't make sense.
Exactly.
And when things are out of your control, what do you hold on to make it to make you feel grounded and stable, right? So I get it. Mm-hmm. Good for you. I mean, this is great. And of course, like, why don't you eat pig, right? Why don't you do this? Why don't you
that too.
Well, yeah, that's a big one. And you're Puerto Rican, so y'all love lechon and all that stuff. So like, how you stopped eating pork
for so long? We grew up not eating pork at home.
Really?
As a Christian household, we did not eat pork at home.
Really?
It was not allowed. Because in the Bible it says that it's unclean, that you shouldn't eat it.
Were you Pentecostal growing up?
I don't know. It was just because we were just reading the Bible, and I don't think it was under any type of Christianity. I think it was just like reading the Bible.
No. And it makes sense. And I know that. And again, this is not about eating or not eating pork. If you eat pork, more power to you, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of parasites in there.
There are parasites. So living with my ex-mother-in-law, I stopped eating pork. I don't eat it as much as I used to. I used to always make chuletas and stuff like that, right?
That's how we grew up in Puerto Rico, though.
Yeah.
Before we moved to Tennessee. Yeah. Always chuleta. Maybe because it's cheaper than chicken.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, chuletas were just good, right? Like, like I just liked. So chuletas. What's chuletas in English? I'm sorry. What's
Pork chops.
pork chops? I'm like, what's right? My mom always made that. And then carnitas, right? Like that's a big, and then for you guys, lechon, right? Puerto Rican, right? And so, but like pork was a big thing. When my parents would make pozole, you'd make it with pork. When you make tamales, you make it with pork. Like at least the part of Mexico that my family's from, we did everything pork.
That is so crazy to me.
Yeah. So once I started with my ex-mother-in-law, and started watching her practices, and she's really big on like health and wellness and Muslim, and I was like, oh, you don't eat pork. So then I stopped eating pork. Will I have it once in a while? Yes, if it's there, I'll have it, right? But I don't buy it. I don't look for it. And I learned that the reason why people would get so sick from pork, when I read on it, is because you can't preserve it the way you preserve beef, especially in those times of like biblical times. Because before, how they would preserve their meat is they would bury it in the ground.
What?
Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
So especially in like the Middle
Yummy.
East.
Can't wait.
So like beef and pork, you know, when they would kill the animals, in order to preserve it, they didn't have fridges. So what you would do is you would put it in the ground because the ground was cold. When you do that with pork, they wouldn't preserve the same, and it would get. That's why people, when they would eat pork, they would get sick from it. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So then, of course, they called it haram, right? It was no longer. It was no longer good because it would get you sick. Yes. So once you read up on it and understand it, you're like, oh, this makes sense why it was canceled out in the culture, right?
I love that you understand that too. That is amazing. Not a lot of people that are not Muslim know about the faith and what, you know, really, but it makes your body more clean to become a Muslim.
Yeah, well,
it really does.
Even the whole like using water, the bidets.
They're clean.
Yeah,
they're clean.
My ex mother-in-law loved bidets.
I have one at home now. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, you know, and those, even knowing about that, for those that don't know what a bidet is, I would hope people know what a bidet is, right? But my ex mother-in-law was big on that because she lived in Jordan. She lived there for years, 13 years. So she brought a lot of the practices back at my house.
Gotcha.
So I was like, oh, this makes sense. And I would I just was like, oh, this. So I was influenced, right? So I get it. A lot of people are not open to things like this. They're like, no, I want to be my way or the highway.
Yeah, and there's like, I see it in the comments, right? You know how you post something on video. That's why I stopped posting a lot of religion stuff on social media, because I don't like seeing people arguing about religion, because in my head I'm just like, you have your heart so closed and your mindset so fulfilled into that oh, you're right that you can't take an opinion from somebody else. And I don't like that, because it causes separation. It causes not, what's the opposite of unity, you know?
Separation or disunity. I'm like, what's the opposite of unity? Disunity.
Yeah, it doesn't cause what God wanted for us in the first place, you know, because
I could see that.
all those arguments are only going to cause like, oh, now this person's mad at this person, now this person's mad at this person, instead of like, you live your religion and I'll live my religion, and we'll just pray to God together. At the end of the day, we're praying to the Most High, the most compassionate, the most merciful, you know, we're praying to the creator of all things. So it's like, who are we? How do we even know that they're telling the truth about anything? You know, at the end of the day, if it's teaching you to become healthier, do it. If it's teaching you to pray, do it. If it's teaching you to become a better person or live like Jesus did, do it.
Yeah.
What's so wrong with that?
That's the best advice. But, you know, I wish people had the same mindset and mentality, but not everyone thinks that way, right? It's like, I learned early on, two things don't talk about is politics and religion, because people are always going to fight about it, right? Definitely. Unfortunately, or challenge you or challenge your viewpoints.
That was created to separate.
For sure.
That was created to separate the people instead of bringing them together. That's all I thought. That's all I think about.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So this conversation definitely has taken a couple of turns, but it's always nice to have someone that is open-minded on the show, that's willing to share their truth, right? and be okay with it. And you've grown this following because people like you, right? People gravitate towards you. You have a light. So I'm definitely proud of you for doing that. Just being a Latina and doing your thing and being a single mom and out there and being an entrepreneur. People don't understand how hard entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is its own monster.
Definitely. It's its own monster, but it also has so many pros. Like, you could calm the monster by knowing how much freedom you have to decide
that right there
where you want to go and what you want to do. If you make it, is because you wanted to make it. If you don't make it, is because you didn't challenge yourself to make it. So our success is on us.
That is so true. And you have no glass ceiling. You really don't as an entrepreneur. And as a woman being an entrepreneur, you have a lot more leeway, right?
Definitely.
I mean, even though I'm the director here at this media school, I mean, I got so much flexibility being here. It's amazing. But I wanted to be very purposeful when I came back into corporate America, and make sure that it was aligned with who I am. So, but I've been an entrepreneur since 2016. I was on my own. So it's like, I get it. I get the grind. I get the hustle. So kudos to you out there doing your thing. So where do people find you? If they want to follow you, if they want to search you up, if they want to follow your content, where would you find?
Literally everywhere on social media. I'm Lady Curls. The only thing different is on Instagram is lady__ curls. So, but everywhere you find me, it's gonna be Lady Curls, LADYCURLS, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Twitch, YouTube, everything.
That was just overwhelming. You just said what? Twitch?
All the social media platforms. Yeah, Twitch too.
You're on there too. Okay,
yes.
Well, that's great. Girl, more power to you. Even for managing all these accounts, that's a lot of work.
It's like, if you take 30 minutes to do a video, might as well take an extra 30 minutes to post everywhere else. So might as well.
I love that. So what's in the forefront? What's coming? Anything exciting?
Yes. Okay. So every year on my birthday, June 27, I do have a free haircut event. And that's like my birthday party to celebrate with my people in Humboldt Park. We're Puerto Rican, le gustamos estar afuera. So yeah, on June 27, Humboldt Park, free haircuts.
I love that.
Whoever wants a free haircut, bring your kids, bring your child, bring your grandpa, your grandma, your uncles, whoever wants to get a haircut, and we'll give out free haircuts out there.
Is that the event that last year Tilo MC'd?
Yes, he's actually going to be the same MC again for this year.
One. Yeah, yes. He's great.
So I'm super excited. He did amazing last year. He was on top of everything.
Yeah, no, he's very So I had him be the MC for my women's event, right?
Really?
And I was like,
he was there.
He was the MC.
Awesome.
He offered. He was like, "Hey, I'll do it," and I was like, "All right, cool. Like, are you sure? Can you handle a women's event?"
Oh,
like,
he can.
like
he could definitely do that.
And I was just like, not questioning you, but I'm just making sure. Like, you good with this? And he's like, "Yeah, I got it." I'm like, "All right, fine, you got it." So when I finally brought him, he had the ladies rolling, dancing. I was like, "Okay."
That's what he was. I saw a video that he posted.
Yeah, he made him dance salsa. He comes up to me he's like, yep. He's like, "I'm gonna make you dance salsa." I was like, "No, you ain't. Like, nobody makes me do anything."
That's funny.
All right, guys. So you guys are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show with Lady Curls. You want to learn more about Wise Coffee Chat? Go to wisealliancenetwork.com or look us up on YouTube, social media channels. And of course, thank you so much. Feel free to go to Wise Alliance Network or buy the book, wisewomenempowerwomen.com. It's on Amazon. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you. You guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you, Lady Curls.